Hey everyone, before we dive right into the action, I wanted to let you know that I stream these things on Twitch, and if you wanna hang out with me while I'm live, you can follow the channel, will be the first link in the description. Okay, so we're getting the white piece, is gonna be trying out King's Indian attack. So opponent goes for c5. Could go e4 if you wanna play the open Sicilian, but personally just gonna be going for the typical King's Indian attack. And against this specific move order, you could go d4 with idea to get into a Grunfeld where you're having an extra pawn. Still, opponent can play e6 and basically just playing a Catalan, but I'm gonna stick with the simpler approach and just gonna be playing for d3 and e4. Yeah, e5 we're basically getting reversed King's Indian. Could do e4, but I don't know. Do you guys want to see like the end games? I feel like end games are fine to play after e4, but gonna start with knight e2, just making sure that get to keep queens on the board, and gonna be playing with e4. Opponent goes bishop e6, just gonna continue with e4. Idea is to take on d5 and play rook e1, because h6 is not super useful in that structure, because after rook e1, normal positions, black wants to defend e5 with f6, but because of h6 the g6 square is weak, so that's why it's important for them to do d4. And now again, like, could even start with knight c4, kind of forcing queen c7, but thinking to do like knight e1. I think we'll start like knight c4 though, eating the pawn, forcing this move I guess. And yeah, like f6 is a bit too weakening, just allowing knight h4 with knight g6, knight f5, so I have to play queen c7, then I'll do a4, stopping b5, supporting the knight. And after that I think we'll do like knight e1 and f4. Okay, bishop g4, definitely a bit unnecessary, and I think just h3 forcing bishop takes, and then we win the two bishops, because in case he goes back there's g4 and then we get to win e5. So after he takes, generally just gonna take with a queen and drop it back, followed by the f4 break. In case of b5, I think just going knight back, and okay, I'll actually support my knight if opponent allows me to, stopping b5, and same plan, just going queen back, followed by f4, going for the typical kingside play. Gonna be super hard for my opponent to deal with the c4 knight, because whenever they go a6 preparing b5, we can meet that with a5, and they generally have to do it the slow way, like b6, rook b8, and then a6, b5, but it's gonna take like a lot of time. So he instead decides to just play bishop e7, just gonna do queen d1, making room for the f-pawn, and yeah, we're just gonna be basically pushing it on the king side. Okay, we see a6 threatening b5, but you already know that we can play a5. Also, like, funny thing, we could still do f4, and point is that on b5 we could do takes and then rook takes on a8. Like, we have a choice between either knight takes and another typical idea for a King's Indian with black, go knight b6 and then you bring the knight to d5, which would be another really nice motive, but it's just best to fix this weak square on b6, knight b6 ideas. Knight is very active, putting pressure on e5, so it will make the f4 push even more effective, because we're putting pressure in the center. Opponent just castles, could definitely do knight b6, knight d5, but I think simply going for the kingside plays easiest here, and I think knight d7 is what he should be doing. Not entirely sure how to continue there, because if I go f5, I'm afraid he'll have bishop g5 as a move, and I'm not sure how that position is. Maybe like on knight d7 going h4 is not so stupid, with the idea to play f5 next without allowing bishop g5, and if they take the pawn, then I was thinking bishop takes, looks pretty juicy. So yeah, he instead takes, and Typically, most of the times when you have this in the either King's Indian attack or King's Indian defense, recapturing with a pawn, getting the nice hanging pawns here. Not really hanging pawns, but this is a nice typical structure to have, controlling a lot of important central squares here. Let me see if I can actually do the arrows and get a pretty nice picture of why these pawns are so strong. Just controlling all the critical central squares, and then also have ideas like perhaps even advancing or using the g file for the rook. So against knight h7, opponents like going pretty passive. I think we'll just do king h1 kind of move or king h2. Never know which one is best. He might be definitely preparing f5. Could also do like knight b6, knight d5. Also bring the queen around. Could do queen g4 as well. Queen h5. Could do e5. A lot of tempting moves. Okay, I think I'll just do e5, opening up bishop's path and preparing to play queen h5 without allowing knight f6 back. Queen will be pretty annoying to deal with on h5 because g6 allows me to grab the pawn. Okay, so f6. I was thinking this is more of like a weakening move than achieving anything. Can I do like still the same queen h5? And he wants to take back with a pawn. Not sure what is best here. Okay, thinking about like queen g4, even fe, and then queen e6. So after queen e6, there's bishop takes on c6 and pawn takes. There will be knight takes on e5. Looks to be like winning the exchange. That's a bit too concrete for my taste, but I think I'm gonna go for it. So I think the line is pretty forced. We go check. And he can't block with a rook, because like bishop d5 I assume. And on king aj8, eliminating the knight, he is forced to take, and then knight takes on e5 with a double threat, knight g6 and knight f7. So I think we're winning the exchange in that position, and okay, still there might be some work to do, but this is a good starting point. Rook f6, there's pretty funny tactic. We can just go queen f6 and then knight f7 force the endgame. That's beautiful because we get to take. Then the knight's coming, winning back the queen, and we're up in material. Then just continue development. Bishop d2, preparing to bring the rook over. Also do this type of ideas, open up the file, because the thing is we can't really infiltrate over the e file because the king can protect that. And okay, I'm gonna trade a pair of rooks if opponent allows me. That's definitely making it easier to win. In the case of rook b8, just gonna do rook b1, b4. This is big flat. And okay, just gonna switch to the other file. So could also start with b4, but I think this is probably easiest. Yeah, just rook b1, b4, opening up b file for the rook, and gonna target this pawn. Threatening takes. Attacking pawn on d4, threatening this idea. Could take the free pawn, but I'm just gonna go for the a6 one just so we can create a passer. This one's gonna be pretty annoying for my opponent. And okay, opponent finds the resign button and we managed to get this one in. So I'm like, the only thing that's interesting about this game is whether queen g4 was precise or not. So e5 was best move, and yeah, queen g4 was best line. That's important because you get the... Okay, apparently it was better to... Oh, he had rook f6 here that I missed. So yeah, okay, better was to take and then do queen e6. This was the right order. Get a position that I had in the game, because He missed a nice resource to go rook f6. Still, I'm better after like knight e5, funny move, but okay, queen e5 could become a bit complicated for no reason. And okay, now queen f6 was like pretty classy, I felt. We got a winning endgame. Thanks a lot for making it this far into the video. And in case you're looking for more episodes from the same series, make sure to click one of the videos that will appear on the screen. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you around on the channel. Take care.